Good day to all our wonderful followers on Albadi Malan Jila wala murtana jang kutanki kananyin kibar tarin of intindina kibaro miyalon kabit labi dun kanyoto kibaro jamala diamta wala UDP la prominent member minkita Yunus Hydara. In fact Yunus Hydara keta mold miyalon kam UDP bila nyaton kolle kona tabe sire muntolo wala abe angalteri banko kan. In fact Yunus Hydara tilon Gambian wala scientist wala mati abe sabatring Angleterre Bangkok. Afanam coming like I said abe UDP la nyaton kol la kono. Yunus Hydara wala diam tay bobo fete nal hakilo baka Spain convention o kola Yunus Hydara nat la diam tay safero ka ko akoto fatam fanso ni nyin kelo leadership kelo mbe parti kona mandia ya be nala ba fola UDP parti mol yamar pour ye diam nyin kola jalla be too late la baro kola de anata attack jamaso ay day demanding tilefula ko la fintital finality ay ba mo jolande de mo ne me nyilla ka be min fala bol la foka par jallen ka de yuso Hydara day ka chal kon jallen ke sambale nan ka fale ko alnal badi malan jila la wala be gam politics to yala jam ba fala mo le mil man subscribe subscribe ko video si yake like ni lafta kan yin kuma kan sifal jama de gam politics do la ne ka sambale nan gambe platform ol pick up. So anyway Yunus Hydara mine fo wala nyin ka ko UDP kelo mbeji wala nyinte ko Talib Ahmad Bensuda finally ya tofal ya lo nga falel no ma tofon ako Talib Ahmad Bensuda min kete KMC la mayor di bole kele kan andat la UDP la right candidate 2026 election but ako modan tan dinna sotta UDP executive kono mili alan koy ba kele kan pour ka nyaje akon dung yibe kelo minna na ko ma rek le jalli ba 2026 election danaka sital ako abe na kala mantoral mi alan ko na bo mo fetenta. Anyway, bari kachanyin ko binyam ngabula Yunus Hydara fon bula yela mayaka mim fon nyin ko na nay tu mirol ning allegation ol milla UDP kan koy ka Talib Ahmad Bensuda ba wala kele kan
doing remarkable work out of the limelight, seeking no recognition but driven entirely by love for party and love for country. And from the bottom of my heart I'll say thank you very much. Overall, the Spanish convention was a success, thanks to the organizers and fundraising team led by my good brother, Mamadou Coulibaly. When the Spanish convention was first announced on the UDP online banter bar, I immediately commented to say that I will be attending the occasion, inshallah. And I meant it. I also donated my money towards the preparation of the event and subsequently attended the event paid from my own pockets. I went to Spain looking forward to a nice event that will be characterized by inspirational speeches, policy discussion, and ambience with the party members, and to help in any way I can to raise funds for the party. My fellow UDPians, to my dismay, an event that was supposed to be used to foster unity and cohesion in the party was used as a platform, both in public and private deliberations, to throw shade and venom towards a colleague, an executive UDP member, and a current mayor. Talib Bensuda's only crime to these people is that he is running the most functional municipality in the country that is yielding results despite the constraints. And he is loved by many as a result, both in the UDP and outside the UDP. This was why he was given another mandate, despite the incumbent's desperate effort to corrupt him into switching allegiance to the NPP, and used all means to stop him from being re-elected. The people see in him commitment to duty, decency, focus, and dedication to public service. And to the UDP, the party that made him who he is today, he remained absolute loyal to. The unnecessary attack on him by his colleague I found very unfair, which is why I had to speak up. I am not speaking to divide my party. That's never my intention. I spoke to highlight a problem that is already in public, and I asked for it to be addressed before too late. Because if this problem is not diffused and addressed, it will explode perhaps at some point closer to elections, and that is in nobody's benefit. But fellow UDPians, this is not about Talib, as I believe Talib is more than capable to defend himself. And no, it's not about me having an agenda either. Talib has never expressed his political ambition to me, and if I knew anything about what he is up to, it's through his public interviews on various platforms. Few months ago, however, I saw a public discussion around the subject of UDP flag bearership, triggered by Rohim Malik Low, who alleged that a potential coup was being orchestrated within the UDP. As always, I never shy away from throwing my 2 cents on trending issues based on tightly reasoned arguments and guided by my conscience in what I believe is in the best interest of our people. I never knew this, my honest take, will get me branded as a Talib loyalist to a point that I will be treated as a suspect within my party's occasion and provoked unnecessarily by a UDP executive member. Indeed, I never believed for once that I have the power to impose a candidate on my party. My fellow UDPians, by any standard, I will take a person who will give it to me straight to my face, give me their honest take over a person or group who only tells me what I want to hear, speaking about unity on the surface, declaring unquestionable loyalty to the party and its leadership, while underneath doing everything to undermine the party's and the country's best interest for their own narrow self-interest. These are the people who are really dividing the party. But like I said, this is not about me or Talib. This is about the sad and unfortunate situation we have in the country that is characterized by moral and economic decadence and indifference to the plight of the people, and the role that the UDP must play in stepping up to task in meeting the expectations of the people. The joy and hope we felt post-2016 elections was quickly changed into despair and hopelessness. The institutions that we wanted built are undermined and further weakened. Our desire for a new constitution was abandoned. Our transitional justice program was abandoned, and all promises made to us now completely forgotten. Consequently, we face an enormous challenge as a people, including but not limited to rising costs of living, high crime rates, high youth unemployment, and more young people dying in the Mediterranean Sea. Yet, in the midst of all these problems, our two main political leaders, President Barrow and Honorable Dabo, have decided to put all these problems aside and reduce our national discourse to being all about them, indulging in a ping-pong fight using arguments that none of them is entirely innocent of. Consequently, morale in the country is at all-time low. Standards cannot be any lower, and in the middle of all these is the innocent women and children in the country who are living just to stay alive. We've all agreed Barrow, as the elected president, is the most to be blamed. Most Gambians have completely lost faith in Barrow, and have turned to an alternative, the main opposition party, whom we expect higher moral ground in conduct that is consistent with our nation's highest values. These values include sympathy and compassion for the people, honesty, accountability, just to name a few. The UDP leader, Honorable Lawyer Dabo, who we all revere and respect, since 2016 has made many political miscalculations, showing some significant moral lapses that have resulted in making it near impossible to sell him as a presidential candidate to cross-section of society. We can all compete in showing loyalty and love to Dabo, calling for Dabo by force, but in a democratic dispensation, force cannot get anyone elected. You have to appeal to a vast majority to win. This has further put the UDP in a very compromised position in any argument premised in the so-called whataboutism, causing our party members to be defensive, defiant, and in some cases aggressive, and creating a negative perception around the party. I have vehemently supported Lawyer Dabo's call for Barrow to return the land when he called it out. But on the same vein, I also called on Lawyer Dabo's daughter to return the land for more deserving Gambians to have it. I don't know the legality and validity of his daughter and wife's land application because I did not see their application forms. But I know this is tainted by significant moral and ethical lapses. Fenda lives in the United States. Based on the minimum wage at least, she only needs to work 5 hours to match the entire month's salary of 90% of Gambian workers, not to mention the vast majority that are unemployed and on no income. I do not know about Honorable Dabo's wife's situation, but I know based on our religious, traditional, and even laws, Honorable Dabo's properties are also his wife's properties. We have seen the list of properties he declared to the IEC. What we know for sure, however, is his wife and daughter have somewhere decent to live, unlike many Gambians who do not have a place of their own and don't have any connection or with any influential figures for them to be allocated with a land in a short space of time. Overall, I do not care much about the legal question here because Gambian electorates are more receptive to moral suasion than any high-minded legal argument you can come up with. In my book, this has further diminished Dabo's election prospects and has further reinforced the perception that politicians are inherently dishonest and only in it for themselves and nobody else. There is a reason Fenda and his wife did not apply for land prior to 2016, because their best chance of successful application was after 2016. Fellow Gambians and fellow UDPians, by all indication, Honorable Dabo has finally made up his mind to run for 2026 elections. He is still made to believe that he did not lose the 2021 elections and used a lot of messaging in Spain to discuss ways to block electoral irregularities. I have no doubt electoral irregularities have occurred in 2021, but not to a magnitude able to change the outcome of the elections. The margin of over 200,000 votes cannot be explained by election irregularities. He also stated that he is the party's leader till 2030 and that he is currently he currently sees no party member that can fill his shoes. To me, this statement suggests failure of leadership on his part. Like Obama once said, any leader who believes, and I quote, any leader who believes that only him can get the job done, then such leader has truly failed to build his country and his people. But I disagree with Honorable Dabo on this statement, because I believe there are many capable UDP members whom, by getting strong endorsement from Honorable Dabo, will take the UDP to State House with great ease. It is no doubt Dabo commands a lot of respect within the UDP. But sadly, this has never been sufficient to take us into the State House. And it has now gotten to a point when some of his key loyalists are saying in private that he will lose woefully if he runs in 2026, including even those who are constantly in his ear telling him that he is the greatest and the most credible candidate to win the 2026 election. Even Barrow is luring Dabo to run, because Barrow knows 2026 will be a walk in the park for him if Dabo runs.